The last few days of the CS2 market have been absolutely insane. For people whose CS2 investments represented a large portion of their portfolio, the losses have been devastating this week. Prices across the board have tanked and then risen, new copes and conspiracies are abundant throughout the market, and nearly everyone is pointing fingers at Valve for unnecessary madness. But as someone I used to once work for said, anytime you think the client is playing checkers, they're actually playing chess, and this might be more relevant than ever. Today, we'll break down the dead cat bounce impacting the market and speculate where Valve's head might have been at when making this update. Welcome to this week's market report. Let me begin by saying that absolutely nobody knows what the market will do in a day, week, or month from today. For all we know, Valve could announce that they will revert the trade-up update tomorrow, or they might announce that they're releasing all the old collection skins in the Armory Pass. There is absolutely no stability in speculative assets, and please do not own more than you're willing to lose. Okay, with disclaimers out of the way, let's talk market cap. At this point, you should already know that the weekly prices have fallen significantly. In the last 24 hours, the market is making a slow comeback, and we're seeing the trend reverse in nearly all categories. And daily volume seems to be strengthening as well. It's important to note that if an asset falls 50% and then rises 50%, it does not mean it's back to where it started. There's still a lot of ground to be made up here. Additionally, it'll be really important to watch how daily volume moves for the next few days. Many are chalking up this sudden price movement to a dead cat bounce, and I think they're generally right. Valve's trade reversal update does complicate things quite a bit here though, because unlike assets such as the stock market, Valve has a free undo button for at least non-Steam market sales. So even though you may see buff and CS float prices far below any other marketplace, the true price reaction will only be understood on the 30th when trades are finally locked in. I have seen a lot of analyses pop up on supply and demand and ways to rationalize to a lower or upper bound for the CS2 market cap, but I think in a speculative market, this is no better than anyone just guessing a random number. Even just looking at the Price Empire daily survey on whether the market will go up or down, you'll see it's nearly a 50-50 split. And if you know how to navigate to this page, chances are you're probably pretty deep in the skins economy. Given these assets hold no inherent real-world value, trying to define a methodology to predict the future prices is not viable. I've seen a lot of these analyses hold certain variables constant, or just generally ignore that the market is not completely rational or efficient at all times. Alright, so in conclusion, yes, the market is up today, but the top and the bottom will not be defined until at least 30th of October. At this time, new supply will also be unlocked and flood the market. So even on this date, it will be a new wave of price movement at the minimum. Now let's talk about why Valve might have made this update. There's been a lot of theories, from trying to consolidate trading to the Steam market, to Valve employees hoarding coverts before the update to make a quick buck. So far, I have found these really interesting to read, but I don't think they hold much weight. In fact, to understand why Valve did what they did, we must first travel to the EU. Buried in the headlines this week was the deadline for the consultation for the EU's potentially highly consequential Digital Fairness Act. While it has yet to be passed, earlier this month there's been a frenzy of panic surrounding these new potential regulations that have a particular focus on banning harmful practices such as addictive design and Gamba-like game features. It's not a good time to be in the spotlight, and under this period of heightened scrutiny, what was happening in the CS2 market? We were just celebrating crossing the $6 billion in market cap milestone on European news headlines. This growth that was fundamentally built on the backbone of cases and loot boxes, pump and dumps that were rampant throughout the entire market, and it had all the hallmarks of a free-to-play video game mimicking a lawless financial instrument. Not a great look, to say the least. So what's the chess move here? How did crashing the skins economy help Valve? The market crashing is a side effect of Valve dismantling their loot box model and replacing it with a crafting-based one. Went from having to pay around $3 minimum to have a minimal chance at unboxing an item to a craft or redeemable-based model of 5 coverts equals 1 gold is a small but important distinction, and I think we're witnessing Valve perform a controlled demolition of its age-old economy to build a new, regulatory-proof one as its foundations. What do you think? Am I just coping? Let me know in the comments below.